She tries every day to be intimate with me and fails badly. At this point, I have no need or want or desire for her. She's a roommate, barely. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, As I Promised, the Whole Story. And guys, this is all about a young guy, early 20s, who's been married for 2 years. He's already in his early 20s, been married 2 years. I mean, talk about stupid. Married 2 years to his wife, and out of nowhere, she starts dropping hints and talking about ideas about a thing called an open marriage. And after months of bugging him, wearing him down, he finally caves, just like a lot of clueless guys out there, and they embark on the open marriage. And as you can imagine, it is a way better deal for her than him. But you're going to see, guys, eventually he realizes how stupid this is, and his mistake, he starts to wise up. Around that time period, she realizes, oh crap, I may lose this guy, and you're going to see things go to hell in a handbasket real quick. And I don't mean for him, I mean for her. And it's another example, guys, another story example why, number one, you're out of your mind to get married super young, and quite frankly, out of your mind to get married nowadays. Also, this thing of the open marriage, open relation, this idea keeps popping up left and right. It's amazing. And they don't work. The only way they work is if both people started a relationship like that. And once again, you'll see where the guy comes out on top, and, well, it doesn't exactly work out for the gal. And it's always best for a guy just to end it right then and there. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to get into this more, and I'll comment along the way. So it starts off, he says here, I was married for 2 years at the time. My wife is a serious TikTok junkie, and she sends me like 20 a day. Does she ever work? How does she have time to watch 20 TikToks a day and send them to you? TikTok is for morons. We are both in our early 20s. Start sending me one about open marriage and also some podcasts. A few long talks about how we are young and should try this before we are old and have kids. After a few months of pushing and pushing, I give in and we set up some boundaries. Smack. Number one, that's a smack for being married that young, you damn idiot. And two, smack for going along with this, okay? And by the way, if they're that young and got married, why the hell are they married if she wants to have an open relationship? I mean, seriously, why they get married to begin with? I'll tell you why. Because that way she can have her cake and eat it too. Have the husband at home, him pay the bills, because obviously she's busy on TikTok all day, having a job and working, or studying for a bachelor's or whatever in college. But she can go out and ride the carousel, get as much D as she wants. And this guy, like so many others, because they don't know any better and they're weak, went along with it. But they set up some boundaries. And take a wild guess who probably set up the boundaries. Boundary number one, no unprotected SCX. Boundary number two, nothing in our house and no overnight stays. And boundary number three, if SCX occurs with someone else, no details, no touching each other for 30 days. At a doctor's visit and cleared before any intimacy between us. Well, how's that going to work with her? Because if she's out with a new dude every week, and no doubt, obviously, rolling in the hay, there's going to be no touching going on. And unprotected SCX, I'd like to imagine. But how about number 1/A, that, how about also a rule that anytime anything goes in her mouth, that's about 45 minutes of mouth washing. Swishing that Listerine around before she even comes near this guy. Anyway, he says here, we open up our marriage, and she starts going on dates on Friday nights. I work anyway, and I get home normally around 10 p.m. For the first year, it was kind of fun. She goes out on a date, and by the time I get home, she is already home or getting home at the same time, and tells me what they did on the date, and she jumps me. How can you go along with this? What kind of man, how can he look at himself in the mirror and call himself a man to go along with this? She comes home and tells him about it. Get out of your damn mind. These are just dates, no SCX or intimacy. Sure, dude. Yeah, like we believe that. During the first year, I myself go on 3 dates. Each one goes the exact same way. They find out that I'm married, and it's not what they're looking for. Was nice to meet you. After 3 dates, I quit. So he had 3 dates in a year. And all the women find out it's open marriage are like, not happening. However, with her, I'm sure she probably has 3 in a week if she wants to. And I'm sure those dudes could care less if she's married. They're like, hey, if she's good looking, good body, because she's in her early 20s, No problem. You see how this always works out for the girl? This is why they propose this idea, because another guy is not going to have very much options at all. It's so much, a good-looking girl in her 20s, in her prime, can have a hold a sign saying free SEX. There'll be a line down the street. Let's be honest. Then one Friday night, she doesn't get home till 3 o'clock in the morning. Comes in, makes a joke about being too sore and tired for anyone to see some hickey marks on her chest and thighs. Not gonna lie, I was hurt and upset by this. On Monday and Tuesday, I don't remember, she tries to get intimate with me, and I remind her of rule number 3. Then why did you go along with this, dude? No guy goes along with this that has a high self-esteem, self-worth. Only a weak guy goes along with this. And sadly, today's world, there's tons of them. This is why I do this channel and the other one, to help guys be aware of this, not do this, hear these horror stories, and build themselves up so they don't tolerate this shit. She gives me the, are you serious, 30 days and a doctor's visit. I said, yes, dead serious. This becomes a pattern for us, and she goes out with her bad boy on Friday nights and has her fun and spends the rest of the week trying to get me to change rule number 3. It feels like she put me on a shelf. Yeah, those rules aren't going to stay. First, she knows she got you to do this. Then there's only a matter of time before you cave on all the rules that you set. I start avoiding her, working more, being out of the house, even if it's just out walking. And I start becoming a lot more physically active. I start losing some weight, and she is in a full fog of a new relationship energy and doesn't notice and think I'm out doing my own thing. 5 months of being on a shelf, I am not seeing a reason to remain in this marriage. I was selling my happiness so she could be happy, and I was running out of things to sell. Translation, being the nice guy, putting my happiness aside to make her happy. Typical nice guy behavior. And how do women treat guys like that? Guys that are pushovers, guys that have no backbone, by and large, like crap. Because believe me, the guys that she hooks up with, they would never put her on a pedestal. They would never kiss her butt. They would never sacrifice their own happiness and do things like this to make her happy. Please. Up to this point, she's not broken any boundaries, and every time, well, yes, she has. And every time I bring up maybe she should step back from him, I'm overreacting or blowing this way out of proportion. It's just some fun one nights a week. Our 4th wedding anniversary day arrives, and I take the day off work to make her a dinner and a clean house. Why? What has she done to deserve this? More rewarding her awful bad behavior. What does that get you? She gets home from work, and at 4 o'clock hops in the shower and gets dressed and tells me she's going to a bar to see a local band and not wait up. She completely forgot about our anniversary. I am destroyed. I wake up Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and she never came home. That tells you everything. End this marriage. There's no point in being married to her. Seriously, what's the point? This guy went in with high hopes, and no doubt, notice he said he had to lose some weight. So obviously she, in the looks department, was higher up than him. He thought he got himself a good deal. Wrong. See what happens to the nice guys that think they got themselves that good-looking girl? No, she settled just so he could take care of, obviously, some bills, have a ring on her finger, but now she goes out with the guy she really wants. Cake and eat it too, best of both worlds. Boundary number 2 is broken. I send her a simple text. You have broken our boundary and of no sleeping over, and I'm done. At 11:30, she starts calling me, telling me she just closed her eyes for a second and passed out. It was an accident, and I'm so sorry. It will never happen again. Tough crap. We're done. A lot of people will put up a lot of crap, but once they realize they've pushed too far, that's it. And clearly, that's what we got going on here. My unwillingness to even talk about it causes her to wake up out of her fog some. She ends up coming to my work just before we open and makes a scene in front of the whole staff and the owners. I'm finally able to calm her down enough, and she leaves, and I promise on Sunday we can discuss it. I get home from work Saturday night, and she once again tries to have you-know-what with me, and again I tell her rule number 3. She then tells me that she will no longer be seeing him and wants to close the marriage and work on reconnecting with me. So when this guy says we're done and I'm walking away, all of a sudden she wants to close the marriage. Imagine that. Close the open marriage. Now, if he would have laid down the law to begin with and said, we're not doing this thing or we're done, imagine what would have happened. This is the power of a man drawing boundaries and standing up for himself and walking away. The problem is a lot of guys have to reach the point that they're completely done to do this. And then when they do this, she caves, but it doesn't matter at this point. She then tells me she will no longer be seeing him, wants to close the marriage, blah, blah, blah. It seems she freaked out when she woke up and got my text, and he made fun of her, and how she realized how much of an a-hole he was. Imagine that. Her bad boy hookup is an a-hole. Never would have thought. She tries every day to be intimate with me and fails badly. At this point, I have no need or want or desire for her. She is a roommate, barely. The 30-day goes by. She goes to the doctor and gets checked out. She is clean of diseases, but she is pregnant. Holy crap. Chad and Tyrone got her pregnant. Not sure where her mind was with this, but she comes home excited and tells me we are pregnant. I tell her, good, I hope the two of you will be happy together. She looks at me confused for a few minutes and starts crying. Yeah, he's not sleeping with her. That's not his problem. But she thinks that he's weak enough to cave to the open marriage, so he'll raise some other dude's baby. She figures I can wear him down just like before. Not this guy. She, a few days later, sends him a text telling him, and his response is, wow, sucks to be you. You might want to pass it off as your husband later. I file for divorce soon after. Good for this guy. See? Her bad boy wants nothing to do with the kid. She starts doing anything and everything to change my mind about divorce, makes promises, begs, pleads, offers everything under the sun, asking for a chance to fix this. What are you going to fix? You ruined it. You had a good thing. He was a good guy. He was loyal. He even did this to make her happy. Took advantage of it. Tough shit. I am polite and nice about it, but I'm not having any of it. I'm stuck living with her for a while till our lease is up. We fall into a new pattern, and she tries to be intimate with me, and I turn her down, and she gets upset, and I go for a run. My resentment for her is growing just like her baby bump. 3 weeks ago, she comes in my room to talk, and she brought home some pizza for dinner. She starts with how being pregnant, and she is super horny all the time, and tries yet again to have you-know-what with me. I, at this point, am running out of politeness. I tell her, sorry, I'm not into fat chicks. Maybe hit some Tinder. Sure, someone out there will want to be down for it. There you go. Go back to Tinder, honey. She leaves my room crying. Also, we had our first divorce hearing, and the judge slapped 6 weeks of marriage counseling on us, court-ordered. He's got to waste 6 weeks worth of marriage counseling for a marriage he absolutely has no interest in being in, and the marriage counselor is going to get him to try to stay together even though she was doing all this. That's how absurd it is. We go to 2 sessions, kind of meet and greet and talk separately to get our stories, I guess. I just want to get this over with so we can move on with our lives. Last Sunday was my birthday, and on that Friday before, she asked me to spend my birthday with her to celebrate it. I decline her invitation, and she keeps pushing on the subject, and I snap and I tell her I don't waste my special occasions on her anymore. The last one was our 4th anniversary, in which she went out and got knocked up by some pothead loser. I leave her crying in the kitchen, head to work, and told her I would see her on Monday for our court-ordered waste of time. I'm loving how this guy got his balls back. He got his manhood back after all that. But again, this is the sad thing. Yes, it's good that ultimately he's going to end it with her. But if this guy had been strong in the first place and laid down the law and set boundaries, this probably wouldn't have happened. But then again, he'd be stuck with her, so you could go back and forth on the issue. But ultimately, he got his strength in the end. But this is why all guys got to be strong, lay out boundaries, not take any crap, none of this, go through this humiliation to make her happy crap. But all guys will eventually learn in their own time. Monday morning, I'm at the marriage counseling and she never shows up. I call her, nothing. I call her friends, nothing. I call her parents. She got arrested Sunday morning for a DUI and reckless endangerment, and they are on the way. She is a real catch, huh? I offer a house for them to stay at, and I have a couch at a friend's house. My lawyer goes to the judge and expedites things for my divorce and finalizes this past Friday. Awesome. Yesterday I helped them pack up some of her stuff, and today I'm going to help them load a U-Haul that they rented. She gets released tomorrow, and they are taking her back home with them. She wants to see me, but I feel this will be way worse for the both of us. We both need to move on. So there you go. That's the end of that story. It's not super long, but yet another example of how these things fail miserably. And a great job on that guy. Finally, he had enough, and that is that. There was nothing she could do. Now, divorced, she's young, and she's raising some other dude's baby, and he obviously could care less. But that guy, if she knows it's his child, she's going to go after that guy for child support, and at least they'll do a DNA test, but she knows it isn't her husband's or her ex-husband's. So, but anyhow, guys, Quite entertaining one here. Moral of the story is, don't get married super young like this. You're out of your freaking mind. Number 2, hell, don't get really married at all anymore unless you're with somebody for years and years and years, seeing them through everything, seeing what they're like, and wait till you're more like your late 20s. And of course, don't agree to these open marriages. You're out of your damn mind. They all end in disaster. Now, for fun, as always, a few comments from the peanut gallery. Apologize for all the sniffing, guys. My allergies are out of control today. I'm doing everything I can to maintain the strength to film the videos here, so just bear with me. I've got Dayquil in the morning and allergy pills, and I just can't do it. The weather fluctuates here in Massachusetts so much, it's crazy. But anyhow, here's some comments. One guy says, the funny thing is, you stood by the rules and gave her every chance to improve, and she broke every single one of them. Said number 3, she tried consistently to break, showing a complete disrespect. Imagine that. She had the entire thing handed to her exactly as she wanted it, and that wasn't enough. And then she thought she would get you to stay after she broke every rule. But you didn't. And you're a damn hero for that. I really saw this story going another way, but this was the best outcome. You get rid of a miserable person who tried to take advantage of you every single step of the way. Another guy says, wow, I'm sorry you had to go through all that. Open relationships typically don't work. Open marriages in particular. She wanted to have her fun and have you for stability in the backup plan. What perplexes me is the audacity of her expecting you to care for a child that's not biologically yours, as that detail shouldn't matter. And that your marriage should just go back to how things were before if her actions had no impact or would have no consequences. Well, this guy's perplexed. I'm not, because, again, this guy acted weak in the beginning and probably the entire relationship they had. And she figured I got him to cave to the open marriage and all those other things, so it's only a matter of time before I get him to cave to take me back and raise this dude's baby. But she was wrong. Another guy says, I may be old-fashioned. I'm proud of it, but why even get married if you want an open marriage? Just divorce and go about your merry way. Exactly, but that guy was probably fearful of losing her, fearful of being alone, so he went along with it. And last one says, I think this is why our early 20s is too young to get married. I always feel super uncomfortable when I see photos on my feed about younglings getting engaged or married, because why? If you know, you know. But so many of them do not know and just want the social clout. Yeah, exactly. They start seeing their friends get married or engaged, and the girls figure, I want to be married, engaged, or engaged then married. I want that ring on my finger. I want to show off, plan my wedding, have my magical day. And they find that nice guy, which ain't too hard, to marry him, and then this poor victim does it, and that's when her real true colors come out. I'm not saying all are like this, but a hell of a lot, and sadly in today's world. So hopefully this video will go out there, and some guys will watch this and think twice before making the same mistake this guy did. So, alright guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me just think about this. And guys, you come across a good story or article you'd like me to share on this channel that's definitely relevant, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com, and I'll definitely get to it in the future. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.